Linda. Welcome back to Balancing Act. And we titled this Linda is loving life and living her best life now. Linda has gone through some very large changes in the last few months, and she's relaunching her TV program, which was starting to really get some traction, but life throws us curveballs. And
Yep.
so, Linda, tell us what's going on right now.
Well, I had my weekly show, and the station that was hosting that show closed their doors. Luckily, I had gotten everything that I had paid for, and they weren't leaving me in the lurch in that way. Got all my episodes and talked with Sam, talked with a couple of folks, and I'm relaunching my show next week. Um, Different time, different day, but that's okay. Um, be Wednesday morning, the 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and it'll be on my YouTube Live.
Okay.
I think it's also going to go out on Facebook Live and um, LinkedIn, but you can find it on my YouTube channel. The link will be in the notes.
And that's Loving Life's Journey, correct?
It is Living Life's Journey, and what I decided to do with the reboot is I'm going to start gearing it kind of more towards my content,
Mm-hmm.
um, what I want to share with people. I'll still have a guest, but maybe not every week.
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure that I'm speaking to the audience that's there to hear me. And
Right.
what's showing up right now is people are needing to feel that they're in a safe space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're either supporting others and are feeling the crush of that, or they're feeling very alone and don't know how to reach out to people around them. So what I'm offering is a place where they can just come and kind of breathe, and we'll go through different things each program on things that they can do to just kind of find space for themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I do.
So and something just came to mind this week just because of some family situations and circumstances, and so you deal a lot with caregivers, and the fact that most caregivers do not take care of themselves,
Yeah.
and they need to, and so a family situation where one of our family members had some extensive surgery, some things that just we weren't expecting. And the primary caregiver in the family, my sister, who took care of mom and dad, she was their primary caregiver and everything else. Guess what role she has jumped back into?
Of course.
And so, I immediately thought when she sent me the text last night as to what was going on and what they were going to do and what her next steps were, it's like this almost sounds like addictive behavior. And so, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. However, it does, being the primary caregiver puts responsibility on people that sometimes they have to have. Their personality is requiring it. And they then don't take care of themselves.
You see it a lot now. My mom was a nurse, and she did the equivalent of hospice care.
Yeah.
She retired from that 3 times, kept going back.
Yep.
Because that's who she was.
Mm-hmm.
But she also learned when to step away and take time. She made sure she got the time for herself that she needed. Most people in a caregiver role for something like that. Now, your sister looks like she's volunteered to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, she's not doing it because that's the only way she feels she has any worth. Because that's where a lot of this comes in. Either caregivers are caregiving because there is no other option, or they feel
Mhm.
there's no other option,
Right.
or they feel it's what they're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Now, in either of those situations, there's nothing wrong with that. But what you have to remember is you have to take that time to refresh yourself.
Right.
You can't be the only 24/7 support for someone. You just can't. What happens if something happens to you?
Right.
You have got to set up, you need a backup plan. You need an emergency plan. You need a, I can't get out of bed because I just can't move today.
Right.
You can't leave the person that you're responsible for wallowing.
Mhm.
So who comes to help?
Who comes to help? Yes.
You get on a rotation.
Mhm.
Have some kind of a plan. If you're the primary caregiver, great. But just set it up with other folks that, maybe one day a week or one weekend a month,
Mhm.
one or two or three other people come in and give you a break
Right. Right.
so that you can, because it really is, you don't think about it, you don't want to think about it, but good heavens, if I'm taking care of my mom and I won't let, I don't think anybody else can do it, or mom says nobody else can do it, whatever the situation is, that I'm the one doing it and nobody else can. If I were to fall trying to help lift her when she fell, I fall on her.
Mhm.
Now what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because,
that's
and if you overstress yourself, if you have a heart attack, who's going to take care of mom while you're in the hospital?
right. Right. Right.
You don't want to be scrambling around trying to figure out emergency stuff. Plan it ahead.
Yeah. Plan ahead. That was one thing I will say, that after she got started in it, my cousin um, advised my sister to do, and then the girls all got involved, and my cousin was involved, and there was family members who were involved in taking care of mom and dad, while Jean was a primary caregiver when she needed a break, or when they wanted to go on a road trip. Rather than going with just Jean and mom and dad, one of the girls would go, or one of Jean's kids would go. Somebody would go. David would go. Somebody would go with her, so that she just wasn't totally alone in the journey.
I mean, because that's hard, because then you're the driver, you got the passenger, and here's the thing, if you can involve other people, it's a lighter load all the way around.
Yes. Yes.
It's harder when maybe only one person lives in the vicinity.
Mhm. Yeah.
But especially, if part of the reason for the caregiving is maybe there's memory issues.
Mhm.
And the more you can keep the rest of the family and the friends and the close-knit part of the community engaged, the better that'll be for them as they're going through the memory issues.
Right. Right. Right.
They won't have to try to remember what Tom looks like because they haven't seen him in a month.
Yeah.
And maybe they see Tom every 3 days, even if it's just for him to drive by on the way home from work and say hi.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
drop off I don't know, go to the store and pick something up, whatever, just to
Right.
have a reason to drop by and to stay for 10 or 15 minutes to re-engage
Mhm.
so they
Mhm.
remember who Tom is and why Tom's coming over.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times for people that the memory loss is severe, having different faces taking care of them on a daily basis is very difficult,
Yeah.
because then they don't recognize where they are, they don't understand. But there are still ways to get some help in there.
Yes.
So
Well,
that,
and we know somebody. If you have somebody who has um, a family member with memory issues, we have a friend up in Pittsburgh. Lindsay Groves, I believe, is her last name. Did I get that right? You think? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's
And
with
so
the
we do have,
Alzheimer's.
yeah, with the Alzheimer's Association up there. And so, if you have a parent, a sibling, a family member dealing with memory issues, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll put you in touch with Lindsay, and she'll be able to direct you exactly where to go in your area. Also, we should mention here, because it's time of the year where a lot of places are having their walk to end Alzheimer's.
Right.
We want to push that out there a little bit, but you can reach out to alzheimers.org, I think it is, and be able to get that information. But Linda, what is your YouTube page titled?
Loving Life's Journey.
Okay, so all you got to do, go on YouTube and type in Loving Life's Journey and look for Linda, and you'll be able to find her teachings, and you'll be able to find her show. And the show is going to air next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Is that correct? That would, and we're a little bit out. So the show actually airs on August.
It's Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m.
Yep,
Eastern.
Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock. See, there's the memory issue kicking in already. I may need.
Well, that's the other thing. What you focus on expands. So
Right.
So we're back in memory loss, and here we go.
Yeah, and so look at Loving Life's Journey, and look at Linda's lessons. Look at her YouTube channel there. So coming out of caregiving, because obviously my parents have both passed away. Dad went first, and then mom here a couple of years later. And what does that look like for a caregiver who now all of a sudden they have nobody to care for?
I think a lot of times there is a loss of identity, because especially if they were a full-time caregiver, that kind of became their identity. And you see it a lot with moms and parents, empty nesters. Suddenly that full-time parenting piece is gone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you don't have value. It doesn't mean, and I think that doesn't hit right away. You kind of celebrate your freedom. Maybe you get to take a long deserved vacation. You get to start doing things, but you may not know exactly what it is you want to do with your time.
Right.
If you're still working with, many caregivers still have full-time jobs
Yes.
besides taking care of a loved one. It's kind of hard to figure out how you want to fill that time for you.
Right.
If you're still at home, you got family, maybe you can spend more time with family. Maybe you just want some alone time. You don't have to know all the answers right away. Take some time to figure out what's going to fulfill you and allow you to find yourself again.
So do you find that a lot of caretakers, and I'm from personal experience here, finding that when we're taking care of loved ones, we're taking care of family, and we're in that caretaking role, we work, we come home, and now we're in the caretaking mode. And then all else, the social life, the friends, everything else goes by the wayside.
It does. And when you think about it, even, just being a parent, you really don't get that time. You're working full time, and you got to get the kids wherever, and school activities and sports and everything else. There really isn't a whole lot of time for just you and your spouse, you and your friends, you and your extended family. It really is difficult. And what you want to do is try not to get to the point where you're completely cut off. Start small. What's something that brings you joy that you can do in a 5-minute period of time?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
My son's really funny now, and he lives alone, but he's kind of OCD. So, Sunday is cleaning day. And he pumps up his music, and he scrubs his house from top to bottom. Sometimes he moves the furniture around. I never know what it's going to look like when I go see him. And the pets get involved. He's dancing, he's cleaning, he's got his music going, and he's just, he's in the zone.
Yeah.
And he said, that's his place just for him.
Yeah.
Especially because he lives alone. He's not doing that for anybody else. That's just for him.
Yeah. Hmm.
So what are things you can do just for you?
Right.
And start small. So maybe you've got a 5-minute break in between things. Is there a book you're reading?
Hmm.
Or do you want to take that 5 minutes and maybe look and see what your family might have sent you, pictures, whatever.
Right.
Find something that nourishes you,
Yes.
not takes you down. So maybe avoid social media, avoid news, because you're already in a spot where you're feeling overwhelmed. And
Overwhelmed. Yeah. Hmm.
I can't imagine, no matter what side your politics is on, that watching the news and
It's not helpful.
getting on social media is a good thing right now.
Right.
On
Right.
either end, there's so much vitriol,
Right.
and
Stay away from it. Yeah.
there's just so much trying to divide.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So don't take your already stressed time and spend it on that.
Right.
That's
Right.
not gonna help.
Yeah. And
Um,
that is really good advice.
I've got a friend who loves to paint, and when she was still working, she would take little breaks of time during the day and start drawing her next.
Mhm.
You know, she'd just be sitting at her desk, and she'd have a break between meetings, and she'd start to draw, put it away. And now that she no longer is working full time, she's painting, and she's been able to bring that love back to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't say, "Oh, well, I don't have time to do the painting." You don't have to do the whole thing.
Right.
Write the idea. If
Yeah.
if writing helps you, write a couple of
Right.
sentences.
Right.
Put
Yeah.
down an idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
It.
allow some of that to flow. Keep that part of you
Mhm.
living and breathing and alive.
Right, right. Yeah. You got to keep that creative juices. You got to keep all that stuff flowing. And I will tell you just from personal experience. So we've spent the last, I don't know how many years, um, gathering chicks to the nest. Linda knows the whole story with my family and the war in Ukraine and all this kind of stuff, and stuff that we have done family wise to gather them all, get them here safely, legally, up front, and uh,
Get them out of harm's way.
getting out of harm's way. Right. Well, they're all settled in. They're all out of our house. We have 2 puppies, and that is our home now. Well, we obviously have to downsize, so we're working on that. But we have found that our whole focus was, for lack of a better description, gathering the chicks.
Yeah.
Okay. And now it's so I've done exactly what you've said. I used to read like there's no tomorrow, and I mean, and not audible, not listening or whatever. Actually, read. And I had some vision issues, so for a time it was a chore, but it's not anymore. And so I have rediscovered that love for actually reading a book. But here's my issue: I have to put this in the other room.
Uh,
Turn off all the notifications, turn off the ringer, turn off the dings, take the earbuds out, and read. And so, and I'm absorbing so much more. So I would encourage you, just like Linda said, find that little 10-50. So I'm in a book club now, and we set aside X amount of time every day. And there's a whole scientific thought process, and we don't have time to get into that. But for that period of time, and I read, and then I go back and I have a journal that I write. Okay, what was the primary thought? What was the primary plot? What was the primary boom? How did that impact me? What are my thoughts on that? Boom. And so, and I'm looking back on this like I have not done that in a long time, and that's my bad. I should have continued to do that. But I find that it re-energizes me. So take Linda's advice. Take that 5 minutes, that 10 minutes, and do something for you every day.
And I am going to tell you, if you don't know, all of these, regardless of brand, have a do not disturb mode.
Yes, they
It's
do.
very easy to turn it on and it's very easy to take it off. So
Yes.
for 5 minutes, you can put it on do not disturb, do
Yes.
your thing, and then take it back off.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, this was my lifeline for so many years.
Mhm.
I was afraid to go anywhere without it because of when my husband got sick, I didn't have my cell phone with me and I didn't find out about it until later.
Right.
And that was almost 20 years ago.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is still my lifeline, but I have learned how to manage
Yeah.
that.
Unfortunately, all too many of those devices manage their owners rather than the owners managing the device.
That's
And
one of the
so
quickest ways to claim some time back is to put that on do not
do not
disturb.
disturb. Exactly. So our biggest piece of advice is take some time for yourself today and put that cell phone on do not disturb and take some time. Draw, write, do what brings you joy today. Just remember, you can find Linda on YouTube at Loving Life's Journey, Linda Wilson, and go back and look at some of her episodes, see what she's talking about today. I strongly encourage you to do that. Thank you for listening, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing what it is you do here on Balancing Act, Living Life in Harmony. And once again, we've come to the end of our time. So any parting thought, Linda?
Just if you need an ear, reach out to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm happy to listen. That's one of the things I do best. And just be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace.
There you go. Show yourself some grace. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. This has been Sam McEwen, Linda Wilson, Loving Life's Journey. Look up Linda on YouTube. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.